Witches are joining together across the country to perform black magic rituals that will put a curse on Donald Trump. I am not making this up. The witches are organizing through social media to summon, quote, demons of the infernal realms to ensure the president will, quote, fail utterly. The rituals include burning a picture of Trump and visualizing the president, quote, blowing apart into dust or ash, unquote. At one midnight gathering on a lonely moonlit hill, 3 hideous old crones were recently seen dancing around a steaming cauldron, throwing ingredients into the brew. The chief witch, an unbearably ugly hag, was heard chanting, quote, double trouble, our party's in rubble, we've been living in a bubble. Eye of Newt and nose of Ryan, heart of Putin, who's been spying, McConnell's waddle, Bannon's rump, how the hell did I lose to Donald Trump? The International Association of Witches refused to release the chief witch's name, though she was heard unleashing an ear-splitting cackle before flying through the trees in her magic pantsuit. The second of the 3 weird sisters, on leave from her day job as House Minority Leader, was also heard chanting bizarre gibberish. Then, after her interview at CNN, Nancy Pelosi hurried to join the rest of her coven at the cauldron, where she added to the mix by throwing in parts of babies she had purchased at the butcher's counter at her local Planned Parenthood. At a press conference afterward, Ms. Pelosi told reporters, quote, these powerful rituals will really put a spell on President Bush, unquote. When told Bush was no longer president, Pelosi said, quote, well, whoever's president, whatever it is we're doing here, we'll stop him from doing whatever it is he's doing, or my name isn't Dolly Madison, unquote. When told that her name was not, in fact, Dolly Madison, Ms. Pelosi said, quote, well, where am I then, unquote. The third horrific battle axe was seen dancing around the cauldron chanting, quote, Trump will never win this game, for Pocahontas is my name. The grisly harpy then donned an Indian headdress in the hope she would be able to parade herself as not just another Medusa-like termagant able to conjure demons out of the pits of hell, but also as a minority. She then led the rest of her party in a bizarre Indian dance in which they kept turning to the left until they ended up in exactly the same place, namely losing to Donald Trump. President Trump responded to the supernatural threats by saying he was not afraid of the witch's spells because he knew much better spells, and it was not just him saying that, but many, many people had said his spells were the best spells, believe me. After the witch's ceremony was over, the 3 grotesque viragos attempted to fly away on broomsticks, but discovered they had no idea how to use a broom because none of them had ever done an honest day's work in her life. Trigger warning, I'm Andrew Klavan, and this is The Andrew Klavan Show.
I feel hunky-dunky, life is tickety-boo. Birds are winging, also singing hunky-dunky-doo. Ship-shaped, tipsy-topsy, the world is zippity-zing. It's a wonderful day, hurrah, hooray! It makes me want to sing. Oh, hurrah, hooray! Oh, hooray, hurrah!
The Andrew Klavan Show, where the Democrats supply the satire and I just read it off the teleprompter. All right, it's Mailbag Day, but before we get to the mailbag, which comes after the break, so if you're on Facebook or YouTube, you got to come on over to thedailywire.com and subscribe, so next week you too can have a question in the mailbag. First, we got to talk about this speech. Holy moly. I know. We got together, Jay Hay and Jeremy Boring, who is the God King of the Daily Wire, and Michael Knowles, who is just a lackey. I mean, we got together and we sat and watched this thing. And this is obviously Trump's pseudo State of the Union address. It's not really the State of the Union. He's just addressing a joint session of Congress. And we started like, this isn't bad. Wait, this is good. Holy moly, this is great. And the Democrats were so taken by surprise that he delivered like this, that they were caught out looking like such small, bitter, un-American people. They don't applaud for education. They don't applaud for, I mean, this of course was the major moment in the first soldier killed on his watch was a Navy SEAL, this guy Ryan Owens, and he paid tribute to him. The mission was planned before took office, but then it was carried forward in Yemen to gather some intelligence, and Trump paid tribute to him. So here's a little bit of the tribute he paid.
I just spoke to our great General Mattis just now, who reconfirmed that, and I quote, "Ryan was a part of a highly successful raid that generated large amounts of vital intelligence that will lead to many more victories in the future against our enemy. Ryan's legacy is etched into eternity." Thank you. And Ryan is looking down right now, you know that, and he's very happy because I think he just broke a record. For as the Bible teaches us, there is no greater act of love than to lay down one's life for one's friends. Ryan laid down his life for his friends, for his country, and for our freedom, and we will never forget Ryan.
Okay, so this is 2 minutes of applause. Ryan's beautiful widow, Karen, is on her feet looking up to heaven saying, "I love you, baby," right? The whole place is rocking with applause honoring this man who gave his life for his country. And some of the Democrats are sitting on their hands. I mean, it's an unbelievable image. Keith Ellison and Nancy Pelosi sat down after a while. He's looking bitter, it was awful. It was awful. And they'd been sitting on their hands for American jobs. They're not applauding for American jobs. They're not applauding for education. They're not applauding for anything because they thought that Trump was going to come in and give one of his usual kind of, pugilistic, dark speeches. And so they were so ready to sneer that they just looked terrible. He caught them. He wrong-footed them so badly. It was an amazing moment. I'm sorry, but I think we have to play the Trump happiness montage.
Absolutely. We're going to win so much. We're going to win at every level. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. We're going to win economically. We're going to win with the economy. We're going to win with military. We're going to win with health care and for our veterans. We're going to win with every single facet. Zippity-yay. My, oh my, what a wonderful day. We're going to win so much, you may even get tired of winning. Yay! You'll say, please, please, it's too much winning. We can't take it anymore.
I feel pretty, oh so pretty. I feel pretty and witty and gay.
We have to keep winning. We have to win more. We're going to win more.
This thing, this was one of the most dramatic political moments I have seen actually in my life. It was so dramatic, and I want to explain why I think this. Trump is a master. There are 2 speeches here that we have to talk about. One is the political speech, and the other is the substantive speech. The political speech is a masterpiece. I mean, it's probably the best. Let me think about this for a minute. It's the best State of the Union, certainly in the last 2 administrations. Certainly, Obama never gave a good one, and George W. Bush never gave a good speech ever. So, I think it's certainly the best, like in the last 10 years at least. And Trump is a master at changing the narrative. This is what he knows. That press conference he gave where all the reporters were saying, oh, it was belligerent, it was mean, he made this mistake, he made that mistake. That ended this stupid and untrue Russian conspiracy thing that they were building up to. Remember, like the day before, or 2 days before, Chuck Todd says, "Welcome to day 1 of the biggest scandal ever." Gone. He just took it away. Now the whole thing is this tumultuous. What the mainstream media always do is they report things that may or may not be true, and then they just assume them to be true. So they say there's chaos in the White House. Well, the Trump administration says, no, there's no chaos here. We've made some mistakes. They're going forward. It doesn't seem like chaos to me, but I don't know the truth. I'm not there. But then all the press does is they'll lead every story with the chaotic opening month of the Trump administration, the chaos this, the chaos that, unpresidential this. Trump just took that and he blew it up, and the whole speech was constructed to do that. Here's a phrase I heard maybe 4 times from different commentators, but I brought in this one because it's Van Jones, who is obviously far, far, far to the left. The phrase was, Trump now is the president. Trump became the president. And Van Jones was talking about the moment where he honored the Navy SEAL. Here it is. Have you got
He became president of the United States in that moment, period. There are a lot of people who have a lot of reason to be frustrated with him, to be fearful of him, to be mad at him. But that was one of the most extraordinary moments you have ever seen in American politics, period. And he did something extraordinary. And for people who have been hoping that he would become unifying, hoping that he might find some way to become presidential, they should be happy with that moment. For people who have been hoping that maybe he would remain a divisive cartoon, which he often finds a way to do, they should begin to become a little bit worried tonight. Because that thing you just saw him do, if he finds a way to do that over and over again, he's going to be there for 8 years. Now, there is a lot that he said in that speech that was counterfactual, that was not right, that I oppose and will oppose. But he did something tonight that you cannot take away from him.
See, that Van Jones was slammed for this. The people were tweeting, he's a traitor, he's this, he's that, it's all wrong. But that was Van Jones, actually, and I got to give him props for this. He is so far to the left, he's fallen off the edge of the world, and I disagree with everything he says most of the time. But that was Van Jones adapting to a situation, and that's what the Democrats failed to do. They didn't see that they were being run over by a freight train, and they just laid out on the tracks. So this indicates, now I'm a slow guy to take someone I don't know and attribute personality traits to him. I mean, this is something I hear people doing all the time, like he's a narcissist, he's this, he's that. If you don't know the guy, it just takes a long time to observe things. But the one thing I've observed about Trump is that he learns stuff. This is what he told us he would do. He said, we said, you don't know anything about being president. And he said, basically, I'll learn and I'll appoint the best people. He has appointed the best people, and he does learn. He was on Fox and Friends just the other day saying they asked him to grade his administration. And he said, of course, when you ask that of Donald Trump, you assume he's going to say A+ on everything. And he said A+ for everything I've done, but only a C or a C+ for the way I've communicated what I've done. And he changed that. Everybody said he's too dark. His inaugural address was too dark. So he opens up the speech like this. This is not the very opening of the speech.
Each American generation passes the torch of truth, liberty, and justice in an unbroken chain all the way down to the present. That torch is now in our hands, and we will use it to light up the world. I am here tonight to deliver a message of unity and strength, and it is a message deeply delivered from my heart. A new chapter of American greatness is now beginning. A new national pride is sweeping across our nation, and a new surge of optimism is placing impossible dreams firmly within our grasp. What we are witnessing today is the renewal of the American spirit. Our allies will find that America is once again ready to lead. All the nations of the world, friend or foe, will find that America is strong, America is proud, and America is free.
So the Democrats, again, they're ready for one thing and they're getting another, and they're sitting on their hands. You're not applauding for the fact that America is free. Just kind of look bad. But he changed. He got it. He's got to start with, the good stuff. Also, and this is another thing about being the master of narrative, all we've heard, the Democrat talking point that was going around 3 days, was he hasn't accomplished anything. So he started the speech with a list of his accomplishments, all these executive orders. Still, this is him coming to Congress, asking for stuff, and he asked for the stuff that he wants. He starts to talk about the border. And this was really interesting because he kind of has indicated that he will negotiate with the Democrats on this and do something. I've been saying now for 2 years, basically, there's going to be some kind of amnesty. Nobody is going to have mass deportations. It just isn't going to happen. And I think they can either ignore the fact that people are here illegally or give them some kind of path to citizenship. And nobody, even the people who think they want to see mass deportations, really want to see them, because once those come on your TV screen and once you see little children being torn out of their mother's arms, you're not going to like it so much. Nobody's going to like it, and it's going to eat away at his popularity. Hey, I got to stop and say goodbye to Facebook and YouTube, but the mailbag is coming up, so come on over to thedailywire.com and subscribe. Are we still giving away? What are we giving away? The Arroyo? We're giving away the Arroyo. Come on, we'll give you a free movie for the lousy $8 a month. What's wrong with you?